Next, we turn to the issue of crime in Canton. And you're on record as saying that you're not into sloganeering. You're not into the zero tolerance.
Oh, I'm into zero tolerance.
But not as a political rhetoric.
Correct.
Am I correct on that?
You are correct, sir.
Okay. But what you do want, as I understand from what you've said in the past, is that you want the safety forces to have the necessary resources to keep crime under control.
Right.
I mean, you understand that crime is not going to be eliminated,
no,
but to keep it under control. Well, what are those necessary resources? Define resources for us, if you will.
Sure. It starts out with obviously monetary resources. And we have to look at what kind of grants that are out there. I know that the police department is doing a fine job now of trying to find grants. But all the safety forces, I said police, but it could be fire also. We need to find as many of those grants as we possibly can and work within that parameter to bring that in. The other resources are perhaps manpower. I know that our authorized strength is, I believe, 203 in the fire department, and currently we're at about 152 men. We need to look at that also. You know, maybe that is efficient, but we need to look at that to see. Because unless we keep the people of Canton safe and feeling secure, there's never going to be a lot of content in Canton. So I think what we need to do is work very hard at keeping crime down. But you got to remember, I could have the lowest crime rates. Anyone could have the lowest crime rates. But if someone breaks into your house or somebody is selling drugs down the street from you, those crime rates don't mean anything. So we have to make everyone feel safe and secure within their own neighborhoods. And to do that, we're going to try to bring, with a vengeance, as much resource, manpower, money, as we possibly can.
So there has to be a perception on the part of Cantonians that they're safe in the city of Canton.
Absolutely, and beyond. It has to be people who live outside of Canton. They want to come downtown to go to the Palace Theater. They want to come downtown and go to the restaurants. They want to come downtown and go to any of the Regional Chamber of Commerce's events or anybody else's events. It's the perception of this is a bad city, and it's not. It's not. Our police force, our safety forces as a whole have done a great job. We just have to keep it going and keep helping them. Because as you just said, a lot of times perception is reality.
So perception could, in fact, be a tool in economic development, too. Perception of safety in Canton.
Absolutely. Turn on the TV and you will see every ad is a perception. And we have to do the exact same thing. You know, the Mayor Creighton was scoffed at because she was called a cheerleader sometimes. But you know what? We need that. We need people that will help us feel good about ourselves, feel good about our cities. And when that happens, it starts turning around and it becomes internalized, and then you start feeling good about it too.
Now, the factors that you mentioned in defining resources, one of them, money, is in short supply in Canton.
Absolutely.
How are you going to come about that?
Again, we have to see what programs are available, what we can do to knock down any type of barriers that may be causing us problems of getting some of those grants and the federal and state monies. We're going to have to turn over every rock and look under every piece of paper to see where we can find some money.
Now, I think this is probably a pretty tough question. We'll let you measure it.
Okay.
Between jobs and crime, which is the highest priority for a Conde administration?
I would say actually economic. I'm going to throw a third one. Economic development would be, because if you have economic development and you bring in the revenue, you bring in the jobs, you'll bring in more revenue that you can handle more and more of the crime problems. So
and
it goes back to economic development.
Right, and you will have solved the public perception of safety of Canton, or businesses won't be interested in coming here.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Absolutely. Businesses want to feel safe. They want their workers to be safe. So we need to make sure that the perception of Canton is as positive as it possibly can be.